Hi, ArcfieldWeather.com meteorologist Paul Dorian here on Tuesday morning, December the 3rd. We'll have a strong and strengthening storm system that will impact much of the Great Lakes region, the Mid-Atlantic, and the Northeast U.S. over the next couple of days. It slides basically from west to east across the southern part of Canada towards the northern part of Maine by the time we get to midday on Thursday, and it will have quite an impact on many spots in the Great Lakes, the Mid-Atlantic, Northeast U.S. That includes some snowfall, accumulating snow, especially across the interior, higher elevation locations of the Northeast and the Mid-Atlantic region. Some powerful wind gusts, 50 miles per hour or more, and all of this will be followed by another Arctic blast for later in the day, Thursday night, and Friday, bringing some of the lowest wind chill values of the season so far to the northeastern quadrant of the nation. Let's start off here by taking a look at the total snowfall forecast map by last night's 0Z run of the GFS. This extends from right now to the beginning of the day on Sunday, basically the next 5 days or so. And you can see all of this is associated with this incoming storm system here. Again, basically will travel from the south central part of Canada eastward into the northern part of Maine by the time we get to about 48 hours or so from now. Now, some of this just downstream from Lake Erie, Lake Ontario, that is some lake effect snow, but it's really over the next 5 days a combination of lake effect snow in the near term and then general snowfall associated with a strong and again strengthening low pressure system from later tomorrow into the day on Thursday. Again, a lot of snow across the southern tier of Canada associated with this system that kind of moves in a general fashion of a clipper, but this is really more than just an ordinary clipper type system. Again, we'll see in a moment here, it moves basically from west to east and really strengthens by the time it gets to the Canadian Maritime provinces during the day on Thursday. Now, let's go through a series of forecast maps to really outline why this is going to be an impactful storm. Again, Great Lakes, Mid-Atlantic, Northeast U.S. First of all, we're starting off the day here on Tuesday with a decent upper-level trough situated just off the Mid-Atlantic coastline, the Carolina coastline here, and then some ridging popping up across the interior northwestern part of the country. Now, let's move through. These are the 500 millibar height anomaly forecast maps from the 0Z GFS model run. Here we go. By the time we get 24 hours out to tomorrow morning, Wednesday morning, we start to see that upper level trough that is a culprit of this developing storm system here at the surface. 500 millibar upper level low showing up over south central Canada early tomorrow, and it just dives to the south and east, and it intensifies along the way. And by the time we get to Thursday morning, 48 hours from now, it's a strong, a potent upper level system kind of focused on the eastern part of the Great Lakes, and then it just kind of slides to the east from there, reaching the coastal regions of New England by late in the day on Thursday, and finally by Friday it's pushing off to the north and east, and that is where that storm system at the surface will reside come late Thursday night into Friday morning. That is the Canadian provinces, the maritime provinces of Canada. Now, another field to look at, the 850 millibar wind field, and that really sends a red flag to me that there could be wind gusts on Wednesday night and especially during the day on Thursday of 50 miles per hour or more. We could even see some 60 mile per hour wind gusts during the day on Thursday. I do expect that the National Weather Service at some point would issue high wind warnings for this particular system. Again, later in the day on Thursday into Thursday night, the Mid-Atlantic, the Northeast U.S., maybe portions of the Great Lakes as well. Let's track this kind of an area of high winds in the lower level of the atmosphere. Again, we're looking a couple thousand feet above the surface here, the 850 millibar level. This is by tomorrow morning, and this is quite impressive showing up here. Again, we just saw an upper level trough here diving to the south and east, and this is kind of a lower level look here at the winds at the 850 millibar level. And look at what happens here by the time we get to tomorrow afternoon. This is a strong signal for high winds at the surface, probably out of the southwest, ahead of the strong cold front that is diving to the south and east, trailing this low pressure system. But then it continues quite strong here by later tomorrow night into the day on Thursday. Again, a lot of winds here in the lower part of the atmosphere. We'll see it right here in the next forecast map here. By the time we get to Thursday evening, still some very impressive wind gusts here at the 850 millibar level. And at this time, it's out of the northwest. So initially, we'll have some increasing winds in the mid-Atlantic, northeast U.S. later tomorrow and tomorrow night from a southwesterly direction. Then the strong cold front slides through during the morning hours on Thursday, and the winds will shift to a northwesterly direction. That's when they could gust up to 45, 50, 55 miles per hour or so later in the day on Thursday and Thursday night. Again, this will lead to some of the lowest wind chill values, likely the lowest wind chill values of the season so far throughout the northeastern states here. We'll go all the way into the morning hours on Friday, and at this time it's all strong northwesterly flow here in New England with an Arctic air mass flooding the zone here from the Middle Atlantic through the northeastern states by the time we get to Thursday night and Friday. Now let's take a look at the surface maps here from the 0Z run of the GFS. Starting off today, relatively quiet. We're still seeing some streamers here. Some of this blue represents lake effect snow. Again, continuing today. Lake effect snow. It's been day after day after day for the past several days in some of these areas with some incredible snowfall totals. Not quite done yet. Some very chilly air situated right now over the Mid-Atlantic, Northeast U.S., and the Great Lakes. Those lakes we showed yesterday, still relatively warm, not frozen yet. In some cases, the water temperature is in the 50s, and you get that Arctic air flowing on top of that, and you have a quickly destabilizing atmosphere. And again, the continuation of some of these heavier snow bands, these streamers coming in downstream of the lakes with that wind blowing over the warm waters and then dumping the snow just downstream. We'll move forward here. Again, continuation even into the evening hours on Tuesday. And here comes that storm system. South central Canada by the time we get to tomorrow morning here. Now take note of this millibar pad, the central pressure here of 995 millibars here as of tomorrow morning. Also, take note of this isobar pattern here. You can see all these black lines out here, both out ahead of that system and on its backside. Notice out over the western states, for example, very few black lines. These black lines represent lines of equal pressure, isobars. The more the lines, or the tighter the pressure gradient, the stronger the wind. So at this particular time, we have strong winds coming out of the southwest. You can imagine that cold frontal system right about in this area right here. Strong winds on the back side of that front out of the north and west. Remember, we saw that 850 millibar maxima on Wednesday in this part of the Ohio Valley here. That's with the southwesterly flow, strong southwesterly winds out ahead of the incoming cold frontal system. But again, take note of the isobar pattern, because it will become very impressive on Wednesday night, Thursday night, with respect to that overall pressure gradient. Here we go on Wednesday. Let's move forward here. And here we go now into Wednesday night. This is tomorrow night. A strengthening low, now down to 990 millibars, just south of Hudson Bay. Again, look at all the isobars here. This is very, very strong winds. In this case, on the backside out of the north and northwest, we have a frontal system right in this area right here. Still some strong winds out ahead of it from a southwesterly direction. You'll notice that southwesterly wind gusts increasing later tomorrow, and especially tomorrow night in the Mid-Atlantic, in the northeast U.S. Now, let me clean the page off here and start to see some snow now pushing into the interior sections of the Mid-Atlantic and northeast U.S. And here we go out into the late night hours, later tomorrow night going into early Thursday. And snow and rain showers mixed all the way down into the I-95 corridor region later tomorrow night. And then probably mostly snow showers on Thursday morning with the approach of that strong cold front. Go out a little bit farther in time. Here we go now by Thursday morning. And that front extends out right in this area here by Thursday morning. That will be a noticeable frontal passage during the morning hours on Thursday in places like D.C., Philadelphia, New York City. There certainly can be some snow showers, maybe even a heavier snow squall or two, and winds will shift from the southwesterly direction to northwesterly direction. The high temperatures on Thursday likely to come early in the day or maybe midday. D.C., Philadelphia, New York City, since that front comes through during the morning hours. We'll go out a little bit farther in time now to midday on Thursday. And here we go with this screaming northwest winds at this particular time. It'll clear up. We'll have mostly sunny skies in the I-95 corridor region by Thursday afternoon. But take note that any travel in the higher elevation areas of interior, mid-Atlantic, northeast U.S. later in the day on Thursday could be quite difficult because even a little bit of snow with 50-mile-per-hour wind gusts could cause some visibility problems. So beware of that. This looks to me like 50-mile-per-hour wind gusts are possible during the day on Thursday, especially in those hours right behind that strong cold frontal passage. We'll go out a little bit farther in time here into Thursday evening. Still very, very strong winds and strengthening low pressure area off to the north and east, an incoming high pressure area, and this pressure gradient between these two systems right here, the high to the west, the low to the north and east. Very tight, very strong pressure gradient. Again, likely leading to 50-plus mile-per-hour wind gusts later in the day on Thursday. We'll go all the way out to late Thursday night into Friday morning. Now, take note here, 970 millibar low. That began, 36, 48 hours before that at more like 995 millibars, and it strengthens this whole time. And this is still a very impressive pressure gradient. Expect some very strong northwesterly winds into the day on Friday in places like New England and probably the northern mid-Atlantic as well. Also, some streamers here. We still have continuation of lake effect type snows on the backside of the frontal system. This is all going to be filled with Arctic air here. This frontal system is ushering in another Arctic air mass that will certainly be felt by later in the day on Thursday, and especially Thursday night and Friday throughout this area. Again, the lowest wind chill values of the season so far, and well below normal temperatures, which, by the way, will stick around right through the upcoming weekend. Starts to moderate certainly by early next week with respect to temperature. So a strong low-pressure system will impact the Great Lakes, the Mid-Atlantic, the Northeast U.S. from later tomorrow into the day on Friday, a combination of rain and snow showers even into the Mid-Atlantic's I-95 corridor region. Small accumulations on the table, even in the big cities along the I-95 corridor region. Watch out for a possible heavier snow squall on Thursday morning with that cold frontal passage. In the interior, higher elevation locations, a few inches of snow, maybe even several inches of snow. Upstate Pennsylvania, for example, upstate New York, interior New England, and throughout this area, watch out for powerful wind gusts of 50 miles per hour or more on Thursday from a northwesterly direction, and they'll be quite strong ahead of that frontal system out of the southwest late tomorrow and tomorrow night. And all of this will be associated with another incoming Arctic blast for the Great Lakes, the Mid-Atlantic, Northeast U.S. for late Thursday night, and on Friday. That's it for now. For ArcfieldWeather.com, this has been meteorologist Paul Dorian.